Monsieur, monsieur, monsieur,
Maybe I'll call you. Yeah. Unless you want to stand there. I'm okay. Om Amriteshwariyai Namaha. We request everyone to kindly settle down. Namaste and Namaskaram, and a very warm welcome to the first International Conference on Gender and Technology 2025 held at the Amritapuri campus of Amrita University. Today marks the conclusion of the conference itself, the collaborative hackathon, and the DST workshop on gender sensitization. As we've assembled here today to summarize the proceedings, achievements, and the key takeaways, and give away prizes, we will be invoking the presence of the divine with a short prayer. Kindly rise and join us in spirit.
ध्यायामोदवलावगुण्डनवती तेजोमयीं नैष्टिकीं स्निग्धापाङ्गविलोकिनीं भगवतीं मन्दस्मितश्रीमुखीं वात्सल्यामृतवर्षिणीं सुमधुरं सङ्कीर्तनालापिनीं श्यामाङ्गीं मधुस्निग्धसूक्तिम् अमृतानन्दात्मिकाम् ईश्वरी ॐ अमृतेश्वरी नमः ॐ अमृतेश्वरी नमः ॐ अमृतेश्वरी नमः.
We request our dignitaries to kindly join us on stage. I'll be reading out your names. Swami Amrita Swarupanandaji, Vice Chairman of Mata Amritanandayi Mutt and the President of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. Swamiji, kindly join us on stage. We also request Ms. Yoon Song Kim, Chief Program Specialist of the Social and Human Sciences Sector at UNESCO New Delhi, to kindly join us on stage. We also request Dr. Justin Paul, Editor-in-Chief of the International Journal of Consumer Studies, and who serves as the Provost and Dean of the prestigious NM Institute of Management. Thank you, sir, for joining us on stage. We also request Dr. Manoj P.S., Chief of IEEE Kerala Section, to kindly join us on stage. Thank you, sir. We also request Ms. Rachel Okonhone, Global Head of Employee Relations, BlackRock Foundation. Thank you, ma'am. Are we missing someone? We also request the Program Chair of the International Conference, Dr. Bhavani Rao, UNESCO Chair for Women's Empowerment and Gender Equality, Director Amachi Labs and the Center for Women's Empowerment, to join us on stage. To formally introduce our dignitaries and deliver the welcome address, I call upon Dr. Christopher Kohli, who leads the Social Data Science and Policy Program at Amrita School of Social and Behavioral Sciences, Faridabad campus. Thank you.
Thank you, Radhika. Namaskar, Namashivaya, and welcome to all of you. As Radhika mentioned, this is the concluding session of this brilliant conference on gender and technology, the first ever, I would say, definitely in India and perhaps in the world. And it is my privilege to welcome you all to this valedictory program. First, please allow me to formally welcome all of our dignitaries on stage. I would like to start by saying we are privileged to be joined again this morning by Ms. Yoon Song Kim, who is the Chief Program Specialist of the Social and Human Sciences sector at UNESCO New Delhi, covering South Asia. Your exceptional work and leadership at UNESCO, including the just launched Women in Ethical AI, is an inspiration to all of us. Thank you for your continued enthusiasm and collaboration with Amrita, and for joining us here at the conference. Please also join me in welcoming Dr. Justin Paul. His illustrious career includes far too many accomplishments to present here. However, I beg your indulgence for a slightly abridged introduction. Dr. Paul holds 3 PhDs from the University of Brighton, IIT Bombay, and an honorary doctorate from Calcutta. He is the chief editor of the A-ranked International Journal of Consumer Studies and is among the world's top 60 cited professors in business and economics. A formal faculty member with the University of Washington, he currently serves as the dean and provost of the internationally recognized NMIMS and is also a professor of MBA and the director of research at the University of Puerto Rico. A truly global mind, he holds an honorary professorship with the University of Reading in the UK and Korea University, as well as the MBA director and AACSB co-coordinator at Nagoya University in Japan. His professional and academic work is equally as vast, pioneering a range of business and branding models, frameworks, and protocols for professional and academic excellence. It is indeed a great honor to have with us Dr. Justin Paul. We are equally privileged to welcome Dr. Manoj B.S., the IEEE Chair of the IEEE Kerala section. Thank you for joining us today, sir. His exceptional accomplishments also far extend my allotted time. However, Dr. Manoj is a distinguished professor and associate dean in the Department of Avionics at the Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology in Thiruvananthapuram, India. He earned his PhD in computer science and engineering from IIT Madras in 2004, and prior to this, he served as an assistant research scientist and lecturer in the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department at the University of California, San Diego. Thank you, sir, for being with us today. Do join me in welcoming again Ms. Rachel Ishwari Akohone, the Global Head of Employee Relations at BlackRock Foundation, who is also a platinum investor in this conference. We are very honored to have you with us. Rachel is a practicing attorney who's licensed in New York, California, and New Jersey, and her work at BlackRock focuses on leading a global team through the complex terrain of employee relations with a specific focus on employee experience. With an interest in efficiently reducing human capital risk, she provides proactive and responsive advice to ensure BlackRock is an industry and cultural leader. As those of you who are fortunate to hear her speak yesterday know, she also possesses a razor-sharp wit and intelligence that is able to expose the heart of our shared human experience and thereby make obvious the solutions to difficult social problems. Thank you again, Rachel, for being here. Finally, and with deep reverence, I would like to welcome Puja Swami Amrita Swarupananda Ji, who is the Vice Chairman of the Mata Amritanandamayi Math and the President of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. Namah Shivaya, Swamiji. Swamiji is the foremost disciple of the world-renowned humanitarian and spiritual leader, Sri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi, our beloved Amma. Swamiji has been residing at the ashram here since its establishment in the 70s and has traveled with Amma around the world for nearly 40 years. Swamiji is a renowned author and translator, having written books such as The Irresistible Attraction to Divinity and The Color of the Rainbow, Compassionate Leadership, as well as Amma's biography and translating over 10 volumes of conversation between Amma and her devotees into English, as well as a compiler of the same. Swamiji has always been a pillar of support for all of us here at the university, with an ability to impart profound inspiration across the gamut, from the most practical management strategies in the workplace to moving oration in public events and the highest peaks of spiritual insight via his magnificent bhajans, music, and writings. Thank you, Swamiji, for gracing us with your presence. With this, please allow me to come to the formal concluding session of this conference with my welcome note, covering some of the vast highlights that we've had today over the past weekend. It has been a labor of love, pun absolutely intended, to bring this conference into reality. The inspiration behind this conference, as with all things at Amrita, was from our Chancellor Amma, her own words and encouragement. This year also marks the 30th anniversary of the UN Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action that established a global agenda for gender equality, one that has in some ways been achieved and yet in many ways has been woefully underperformed. The recent explosion of AI, emerging technologies, and the juggernaut of global economic and political change has made this conference a virtual necessity, and one that Amrita is proud to raise the torch for. We hope that all of the distinguished guests, researchers, presenters, students, and attendees have found some resolve in this call to action and have been able to share their insights to better understand the root issues, best practices, and roadmaps for further action. Now, there are quite a few highlights to get through, so please stick with me. We've had an amazing accomplishment here over the weekend. Our conference was kickstarted with an inauguration by the Honorable Minister Raj Bhushan Chowdhury, the Union Minister for Jal Shakti. We've had 3 UN-led panels, including the launch of the latest GEM report on technology and education, the launch of the UNESCO Women for Ethical AI initiative, 19 keynote talks by global experts on a fascinating range of topics related to gender and technology. These have been bolstered by engaging dialogues during our 4 panel sessions featuring over 20 eminent scholars and thought leaders from around the world. This weekend also marks the climax of our 6-week International Gender AI and Gender Tech Hackathon, which Dr. Uni will be talking about a little bit later. Students and scholars from around the world have also had the opportunity to share their research. And we have had over 90 research papers and dozens of poster presentations, which Professor Gayatri will also share more about in just a little while. Many of you may not be aware, but running in parallel to the main conference program was also a week-long gender sensitization and gender transformative training program aligning with the SDG Agenda 2030. This was funded by the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, and conducted by the faculty of the School of Social and Behavioral Sciences here at Amritapuri, featuring international speakers as well. This training was offered to a group of over 20 of India's top scientists and technologists working in scientific ministries and departments, autonomous institutions and public sector undertakings by central and state governments, research and development institutions, central and state universities, and state science and tech councils. These distinguished guests will also be receiving their certificates later this morning. That's not all. We are also proud to host an exhibition during this conference featuring many of the gender-focused initiatives by the MA MUT and Amrita University, the academic programs of the School of Social Behavioral Sciences, a cognitive labyrinth hosted by the Center for Science and Learning and Technology Department, and a flourishing market full of stalls run by researchers and graduates of Amrita's training programs with henna, mehendi, and nail art, uniquely designed arts and crafts, interactive robotics and VR education tech, and much, much more. If you haven't already, please do take the opportunity to visit this expo after lunch. I would be remiss to forget the cultural programs that were held during the conference. We began with Dr. Padmaja and her disciples, who offered a profoundly beautiful, meaningful, and timeless Bharatanatyam performance. Also, we had an impressive student performances that I'm still hearing people talk about in the halls and between sessions. As with everything Amrita, through grace and hard work, we have somehow managed to encapsulate all of the multidimensional facets of complex concepts during this past conference. This, of course, was led by our inspired Chancellor, Vice President, and of course the Director of Amachi Labs, Center for Women's Empowerment and Gender Equality, and the School of Social Behavior and Sciences, Dr. Bhavani Rao, who is also on the platform today. Thank you, Dr. Bhavani. And I hope we all leave here today inspired to continue this important work and to make real, sustainable, and actionable changes. Thank you, and Namah Shivaya.
Thank you, Dr. Kohli, for crisply summarizing the happenings of the conference, the hackathon, and the workshops. We now have with us Dr. Unnikrishnan Radhakrishnan, who's brought together students from different universities, mentors from across disciplines to tackle some critical challenges for the Gen AI and the Gender Tech Hackathon 2025. He holds a PhD in virtual reality from Aarhus University, Denmark. It's a pleasure to have you, sir, with us on stage and share with us the exciting happenings at the Gender AI Gen Tech Hackathon. sponsored by IEEE Humanitarian Technologies.
Thank you. Om Amriteshwari Namaha. Now, many of you may be wondering what a hackathon is all about. A hackathon brings together creative minds and technologists in an intensive sprint of innovation. Over a focus period, teams collaborate to transform promising ideas into working solutions that address real-world challenges. Today, we celebrate the culmination of such an endeavor, one that harnesses technology to advance gender equality. When we launched the Generative AI and the Gender Hackathon, supported by Amrita University and IEEE, we envisioned a platform where bright minds could tackle pressing challenges faced by women and marginalized communities. In alignment with Mata Amritandamayi Devi's vision of using technology for societal transformation, our participants have exceeded all expectations. From an overwhelming response of 550 applicants worldwide, we selected 250 participants who formed 50 teams. Through intensive workshops and mentoring sessions, these teams have worked tirelessly to create meaningful change through artificial intelligence. I extend our sincere gratitude to our esteemed panel of judges who evaluated our top 10 finalist teams: Dr. Manisha Gupta from Google, Jinha Kim from Asian Development Bank, Beena Sarkar from Fractal AI, Chinanye Anekwe from UNESCO, and Mahesh Mohan from Amrita Technology Enabling Center. Your expertise and thoughtful evaluation have been invaluable. Before announcing our winners, I am delighted to share that all projects developed during this hackathon will be made open source. This means that these innovative solutions will be freely available for communities worldwide to implement, adapt, and build upon. This commitment to open source development ensures that the impact of our participants' work extends far beyond this competition. Now, without further ado, our winners. We have two outstanding teams sharing third place and the prize of 20,000 rupees. From Amrita Coimbatore, Team Tensor Troops with Legal Sphere, an AI-powered chatbot helping women navigate harassment, domestic violence, and workplace discrimination cases. Their solution makes complex legal information accessible to women across India, particularly those from disadvantaged and rural backgrounds. Also in third place, Team Mock Squad from Amrita Coimbatore, with their intelligent healthcare platform empowering women with personalized support across all reproductive health stages. I humbly request Swamiji to give away the prizes. So we have on stage from Team Tensor Troops, Charuvarthan, Shiva, and Sugandh, and from Team Mock Squad, Ritanya, Bharanidharan, Haris Sai, and Kavinesh. Would Dr. Yunsong Kim also come on stage? Thank you. Thank you, teams. Our second place winners receiving 30,000 rupees are Team Legal Sahayaks, who developed Shilo AI, a secure and intelligent system helping women understand their rights and take informed legal action. The team consists of Gayatri from Srishti Manipal Institute of Art, Design and Technology, Shiva Harisha from PSGR Krishnamal College for Women, and from Amrita Coimbatore, Sanjana and Kalyana Sundaram. As the team had to leave early, Anu here has kindly agreed to accept the award on their behalf. Thank you, Anu here. I humbly request Swamiji to give away the prize. Is everybody together? Yeah, it's good that we have a big check. Thank you, Anu here. And our first place winners, receiving the grand prize of 50,000 rupees, is Team Dodda Akka. Their community-driven AI hotline transforms how bystanders support women facing harassment in Bengaluru's public spaces. Operating in local languages and accessible through basic mobile phones, their solution empowers community members to safely intervene, document incidents, and collaborate with authorities. I see that Anuhya, Aditya from Srishti Manipal Institute of Art, Design and Technology are here, and also Pranav from IIT Madras. Congratulations. These solutions demonstrate the transformative potential of AI when applied thoughtfully to advance gender equality. With all projects now open source, their impact will ripple far beyond this competition. Let me take this opportunity to thank Dr. Bhavani and her entire team for inspiring and supporting this initiative. Once again, please join me in applauding our winners who are lighting the path toward a more equitable future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Unikrishnan. A very hearty congratulations to all the participants. The journey has just begun and the conversations have just started. We hope you keep in touch with your mentors. Coming up next, we're pushing up our schedule a little. Along with the conference and the hackathon, we also had a very comprehensive workshop running alongside for the Department of Science and Technology, a 5-day gender sensitization workshop where we had senior members from the Department of Science and Technology from various universities and research centers participating in. We request Dr. Bhavani Rao to kindly give away the mementos and certificates for the same. We also request our dignitaries to join us. I will be quickly calling upon the names. We hope our participants from DST are present here. Dr. Vijay Jagadish Upadhyay, Dr. Radhakrishnan G. Pillai, we request Swamiji to kindly do the honors. Okay. Ms. Rachel Akonhe, Yusung Kim. Dr. Debanjan De, Dr. Radhakrishnan G. Pillai, Dr. Gauri Gargate, Dr. G. V. Mali, Dr. Jyoti Peshave, Dr. Kirti S. Gupta, Dr. Vidya Dhere, Dr. Kirti S. Gupta, Dr. Vidya Vasantrao Dhere, Dr. Johnson R., Mr. Sahil, Dr. Johnson R., Dr. Vidya, Dr. Johnson, and Mr. Sahil. Mr. Sahil, Dr. Om Prakash, Dr. Manisha, Dr. Sanjay Gaikwad, okay, Dr. Om Prakash, Dr. Manisha Ramachandra. Yes, you got yours. Mr. Dr. Sanjay Gaikwad, Dr. Sujata Uttam, that's Dr. Sujata Uttam coming up now on stage. Dr. Swati, Ms. Kajal Kumari. Okay. With that, we conclude our awards for the DST. Participants, thank you so much, dignitaries, for joining us. We will be now proceeding towards the conference outcomes. To present the conference outcomes, I'm pleased to invite on stage a very senior researcher at Amachi Labs, recognized as a regional mentor of change by Niti Aayog, with over 25 years of experience in industry and academia, including 11 years at Intel Corp Austin. She has driven innovation in haptics, robotics, and AI for humanitarian applications. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Gayatri Manikutty.
Om Amriteshwariye Namaha. My humble pranams at Amma's lotus feet. Sampujya Swamiji, dignitaries on the stage and off the stage. I'll now present the outcomes of the amazing 3 days of conference that we have been having. While I present this to you, there may be a few omissions that is totally unintended, so please forgive if we did not account for it. I would like to present the conference outcomes by first thanking Amma for making it all possible to bring us all together for this flagship conference. All of us, Amma's darling children, sans race or religion, sans creed or class, defined just by selflessness and bound by love. All of us who made this remarkable event possible. We began this journey 8 months ago with a call for papers. We received over 300 papers, of which 223 papers underwent a rigorous review process, which was reviewed by over 200 researchers from 16 countries. We accepted 92 papers and 18 posters for presentation. And this entire journey unfolded into this international conference, the first of its kind that you're witnessing at Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. We are deeply honored that the conference was inaugurated by the Honorable Union Minister of State for Jal Shakti, Dr. Raj Bhushan Chaudhary ji. His keynote address emphasized the critical role of inclusive technology in achieving gender equality and highlighted India's strides in empowering women through digital literacy, STEM education, and initiatives such as Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Notable dignitaries including Dr. Mehdi Senene, Dr. Muhammad Qasim, Dr. Tim Curtis, and Swami Amritapuri ji emphasized the importance of designing technology with women in mind and integrating them into its creation. All of us were deeply moved by Amma's heartfelt message, in which she urged women to awaken their inner strength, embrace their unique qualities of compassion, resilience, and patience, and act with dedication to overcome the challenges and transform the world into one of compassion and harmony. The conference featured diverse parallel sessions on 12 tracks with paper presentations that explored the intersection of gender, technology, and society through various lenses. Experts discussed topics such as education, health, finance, environmental sustainability, emerging technologies, and gender representations, highlighting the transformative role of technology in addressing gender disparities. The key themes included leveraging digital tools for equitable access, fostering resilience in marginalized communities, ensuring safety and security in emerging technologies, and designing inclusive solutions for social good. These sessions underscored the importance of interdisciplinary collaboration and pragmatic innovation in creating a more inclusive technological ecosystem. In addition to the thought-provoking paper presentations, the conference featured a vibrant poster session that showcased innovative early-stage research and practical applications, providing an interactive platform for attendees to engage directly with researchers and exchange ideas on cutting-edge developments. The keynotes of the conference were both insightful and informative, offering diverse perspectives on critical issues at the intersection of gender and technology. Discussions on policy and progress, driving gender equality in science and technology, emphasize the importance of creating transformative ecosystems and inclusive institutional mechanisms to address challenges faced by women in STEM. The session on holistic well-being, gender-sensitive technologies saving lives, highlighted systematic approaches to enhancing the well-being of underrepresented groups and fostering resilient communities. Technology for good, bridging industry and society through inclusion, reflected on the disproportionate representation of women in emerging technologies like AI and presented evidence-based solutions to promote inclusivity. The session on social impact, ethical AI and societal benefit advocacy highlighted the critical role of women in shaping the future of AI, emphasizing the need for responsible governance, equitable development, and the integration of legal protection to harness AI's benefit while addressing risks such as algorithmic bias, privacy concerns, and societal inequalities. The Building Inclusive Futures, Technology and Management for Empowerment and Growth session highlighted the transformative potential of gender inclusion, technological intervention, and proactive leadership in addressing societal challenges, emphasizing GIS for informed policy making and advocating leadership in combating STEM harassment. The Stories of Change, Cultural Narratives and Gender Empowerment session dwelled into how cultural narratives shape gender empowerment, highlighting transformative stories that drive societal progress and equality. The Inclusive Design, Creating Ethical and Gender Fair Systems and Technologies session highlighted innovative technology-driven strategies addressing societal challenges, showcasing diverse initiatives from AI-based tools and digital platforms to culturally sensitive interventions, all aimed at fostering inclusivity, sustainability, and gender empowerment. The Designing Technology by Women for Women panel, it emphasized the transformative potential of inclusive, empathetic technology designed by diverse teams, addressing biases, accessibility, and education gaps, while empowering women and underserved communities through innovative, culturally relevant solutions. The UN Global Compact Network India, Innovative Pathways, Gender Equality and Sustainability in India's Corporate Landscape. That session explored transformative corporate strategies and innovations driving gender equality and sustainable development in India. Additionally, the launch of the UNESCO GEM Report 2023 emphasized the role of technology in education, advocating for equitable access, teacher training, and data privacy to ensure that technology reduces inequalities rather than exacerbating them. Finally, the unveiling of the UNESCO South Asia chapter of Women for Ethical AI, W for EAI, that we witnessed this morning, underscored the urgency of addressing gender bias in AI and promoting ethical, inclusive technological innovation through collaborative efforts. As I conclude the presentation on the conference outcomes, I would like to express my sincerest and deepest gratitude once again to Amma, our beloved Chancellor, whose vision and compassion inspire all our efforts. A heartfelt thank you to Dr. Bhavani for envisioning the program chair, for envisioning such a conference. When we started this conference, we were wondering how will we ever get paper submissions for this theme, because most of the time we have people working on gender and working on technology. It is very rare and very difficult to see people working on gender and technology. So I will say at this point that when we first gave the call for papers and the deadline, we saw there were probably 15 papers. And Dr. Bhavani, I went to Dr. Bhavani in a total panic mode and I said, how are we going to pull off an international conference on gender and technology with 15 whole papers? And then she said, what you need to do is to conduct a whole host of training, coaching. So Dr. Melton, she conducted a lot of sessions where everybody understood what can we think about when you talk about intersection of gender and technology. And now we had so many papers that at one point in time we were worried that we won't be able to accommodate this in the 2 days of the conference that we had planned. So it is really thanks to Amma and thanks to our visionary program chair, Dr. Bhavani. I would also like to thank our General Chair, Dr. Venkatrangan, Dr. Manisha Ramesh, and all our advisory board members, technical program chairs for your guidance and support. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Manikotti, for crisply summarizing the outcomes of the conference, which we hope will inform future research endeavors over here and all across the globe. I'll now like to call upon our guest of honor, Ms. Yoon Sung Kim. She is the Chief and Program Specialist of the Social and Human Sciences Sector at UNESCO, New Delhi, to address the gathering.
I'd like to start off by thanking Amrita University for giving UNESCO a chance to co-organize this fantastic event and giving me an opportunity to speak in front of all of you. Unlike some of the amazing dignitaries here, I don't have 3 PhDs, and I don't have numerous awards or Google citations as an academic. So I was wondering today when they asked me to speak as the guest of honor, what should I talk about? And then I saw most of the people in the audience today are students. So what if I talk about something about myself and how it could be remotely helpful to the many students here? So what I would like to talk about in some way that connects to the topic today of gender and technology is what it's like to be a young woman team leader in the UN. So just to give you some background, I work for UNESCO. And I took UNESCO and UNICEF in many different roles in the UN, but I took my first leadership role in the early age of 32, and I was given the role to manage a team of 9. And it wasn't very easy because working at the UN, usually the average age of team leaders is about 53, and at the age I was 32, so just to give you some context. The journey has been fascinating and very interesting, sometimes frustrating because we are a group of 194 member states going through our bureaucratic system, but more often than not, it has been a fulfilling journey. It has allowed me over the 10 years to live in 5 different countries and work in different contexts, thankfully mostly in South Asia, and that's where my passion lies. But I've also given the opportunity to work at headquarters, in country offices, and regional offices, which really give you different dynamics in their own way. I've also worked, because of these different opportunities, I've worked with the UN platform, but also with different government officials in regional, local, national level. I've worked with academia, with private sector CSOs. One common thing that I've faced working in different countries, in different bodies, meeting different people, is that being young, being a female, and being very honest, not white, hasn't been the easiest thing. It's been a constant struggle, sometimes of unconscious bias, but also quite apparently conscious bias. So let me give you a little bit into the insights of that. Within the UN, being a young female leader, it's not been as difficult because we do make very, very much conscious efforts in ensuring gender parity, but also walking the talk as we talk about all of these SDGs and gender equality. But being young is not that easy because, again, as I told you, being the average age of being a leader is 53, and me being 37, again, we go through hurdles of, do you really know what you're saying? Are you sure that you're making the strategic decision? But still, it's been easier to tackle than the stakeholders that I meet outside of the UN. Outside of the UN, I engage mostly, especially as UNESCO, with a lot of government officials. And they come and look at you, and instantly when they see you're young and female, they take the assumption that you won't be leading a team, you won't be making the shots. I'll give you a story that actually happened to me a couple of days ago in Bangalore. I was meeting with some of the government officials, this gentleman in a very high position. When he heard that I work for UNESCO New Delhi office, he's like, "Oh, I know Mr. A. You must work for him." And I was like, "Well, I work with him. I don't work for him, but and I'm at the same level as Mr. A. Surprise, surprise, Mr. A is an old white man. So for him, it came as an instant reaction that I would work for him. And then I was pondering upon, why did I have to say we work at the same level? Was that too much? Should I have not said that? Was it a little bit too aggressive? And I went on this spiral of self-doubt. And that's where I want to talk about the constant fight within yourself. It's not the external stakeholders. It's not the stakeholders I meet within the UN. It's actually the biggest battle is within myself. This huge imposter syndrome as a young female taking up these leadership roles, I feel like I'm always not good enough. I'm not eligible to be in these positions. Even when I run big projects and I run big teams that people in older age do the same. So why do I have to constantly struggle about this? And maybe some key things that I do to overcome, and I continuously try to practice to overcome this imposter syndrome, and maybe could be a little bit helpful to the students here, is the first thing is I try to be open for new opportunities. And new opportunities are not always going to be easy, definitely put you outside of your comfort zone. Sometimes they're a constant struggle and challenge. They're not always fun. But I think that really opens your eyes and gives you new experiences that adds to your identity and your contributions in your professional career and your personal career. My first, I guess, opportunity was moving out of my city in the small town in Korea to go to a bigger city to study. Then the opportunity was to go study abroad. It was scary, but I took that chance. Then to study, to work outside my country, and then move around all these different cities. And again, it hasn't been easy, but each of these opportunities, whether good or bad, has, I think, given me a new shield, a new experience that I can take and go build on. The second thing is, it's okay, and I constantly tell myself this, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, is it's okay to make mistakes. So put yourself out there and practice, so that in the end, all these different mistakes can accumulate and make you a more seasoned professional. And I remember, even when it was difficult for me, public speaking is not super easy. I tend to get a little bit nervous. But even when in my early 30s, in my late 20s, I would volunteer, take the courage to make sure that I have public speaking roles and take it as a practice so that I can improve the next time. Last but not least, as a young woman professional, there are many opportunities where you're in not fair situation, where you're wronged. And I think in those situations, take the courage and make sure to make a point. I'll tell you a story. I was managing a panel. I was asked to moderate a panel. And one of the panelists, unfortunately, was being very difficult, old government gentleman on the panel. And he was constantly criticizing the UN in public when he knew that I was working for UNESCO. And at some point, it got to a stage where I also had to hold the ground and explain to him the UN's role. And of course, we're not perfect, but the efforts we make. And at one point, he said, "I think I'm old enough to be rude to you, so I'll be rude." And so my reaction was, "I'm sorry, sir, I don't think there's any age where you can be rude to someone." And I think I knew that I was pushing the limit a bit. It was a public discussion. But I think it's also important as people who sometimes are put in unfair situations to hold your ground and make a point so that others coming after you has that little bit of courage to maybe follow a little bit in your footsteps. So just to wrap up, what is it like? Thank you. What is it like to be a young female leader in the UN? It's not easy, but it's a hell of a lot of fun, and I wish everybody can join us in that journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Yoon Song King, for openly and candidly sharing your personal story and struggles with us. We sincerely wish you success in all your future endeavors. Coming up next, we have Dr. Justin Paul. He's the editor-in-chief of the International Journal of Consumer Studies, and he also serves as the provost and the dean of the prestigious NM Institute of Management Studies, India, to kindly come and address the gathering.
Honorable President Amrita Vidyapeetham, Swamiji Amrita Valedictory, dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, ladies and gentlemen. Digital transformation has unprecedented influence on all sectors of business and society. I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate Amrita University for organizing this event, as well as being a role model organization that cater to the needs of society with three principles: we serve, we help, and we care. I sincerely believe that we need organizations like Amrita University, as well as the type of activities in the service Amrita Vidyapeetham offers to the society, to the people in this country. I was trying to think in terms of how people move from underdeveloped or developing countries to the developed country. I was born and raised in Kerala state. However, I moved to different countries, Japan, UK to US, and even got US citizenship under the extraordinary achievements category. And I've been serving as professor in American system as well as in Japan. And I'm very honored to see that the Amrita Vidyapeetham as well as Amrita Ashram attract people from developed countries to underdeveloped country, India. This is not something common in this country. Everybody moves from this country to the West or Western countries, but Amrita and Amma and this ashram and this university is able to attract a lot of people from developed countries to this country, which is not a common thing in India. So with that kind of laurels, I'm honored and I feel honored to be here to deliver my guest of honor speech. I would also like to extend all that to support of International Journal of Consumer Studies, which is a Web of Science and Scopus Q1 journals, consumer research journal with the highest impact factor for all the researchers who have come here and presented papers, encouraging them to submit your paper to our journal with an acceptance rate of 6%. However, we'll be able to decide quickly and give a decision because we have 30 associate editors. And let me try to give a glimpse of what this conference topic about is, and it's a very impressive topic because this is an era of social media and mobile apps. Almost all of us spend a lot of time. Sometimes some of us spend 5 hours a day on social media as well as WhatsApp groups. Too many WhatsApp groups. Your phone number is no longer a private property in the era of WhatsApp. I remember when I was 28-year-old, I looked at a girl and asked her, "Can you give me your phone number?" And she said, "It's private property." Do you think that phone number is private property in this world of, in the era of WhatsApp? No, everybody's phone number is there in WhatsApp groups. So this is another impact of technology. Technology has brought in a lot of changes and a lot of wide, challenges and opportunities for each one of us. And we are all addicted to technology. And especially, I will also tell you, 76-year-old, my mother has become addict of Facebook and WhatsApp. And she has no time to talk to other people. She has no time to meet and greet other people, which was the very case of our life 10 or 20 years ago. We used to meet and spend time and have 2 hours with other people. But we do not have that 2 hours free time in our daily life just because of technology. Technology is a boon. At the same time, it is also a bane. And some people, they simply don't have time to interact with other people. This has plus points and minus points. And many teenagers are spending all the time on YouTube. They are not having friends just because of YouTube. YouTube is their best friend. So all these are different aspects of technology, and tech industry is also dominated by men. So if you actually go to Bangalore, almost all tech companies, you go to engineering colleges. I studied and I lived in the IIT Bombay hostel for 3.5, 4 years. And we had 2% girls on IIT Bombay campus, 2% girls. But in the US universities where I've been working with, I lived in Florida, Washington, Puerto Rico, and all those places I have seen 60% girls in all colleges. So that's a different. In engineering, the women representation needs to increase. And I would suggest that educators can take some initiative by giving 50% discount on tuition fee for the girls studying in engineering colleges. Can you do that? If you can do that, it would be a wonderful initiative. I would like to beg Swamiji to take that initiative so that all institutions in the country, because this is an institution of eminence. Institution of eminence in this country is only given to half a dozen institutions. So that simply means that this is a noble education institution or university in this country, and we need to encourage girls and women in different aspects. However, I also see another spectrum. The other day I was talking to our vice dean. I just moved back to India 8 months ago. Otherwise, I've been in America for many years. And my vice dean, a Bengali lady, told me that she has a son who did an MBA in another college and who found it very difficult to get a campus placement. Then I was thinking about what is happening in our business school, where I am currently provost and dean and heading a business school of 3,000 people. And I just collected statistics of, all the companies come to our place to come to our campus for campus placement, for interviewing and recruiting students from campus, all the MBA students. And I found a very interesting statistics. All the girls in MBA program got campus placement. But a lot of boys, they are not getting jobs. Why is that? So that means gender equality, or some companies are also thinking in terms of giving 50% jobs to the girls, even though it is not mandatory requirement, or whatever reasons. All girls in our MBA program, we have 1,200 MBA students admitted every year. And out of that, about 25% are girls. All 25% of girls already got campus placement in different companies, blue chip companies, including Microsoft. And I noticed Microsoft came to our campus to place students, and all students recruited by Microsoft. Nine students got job in Microsoft. 8 of them were girls. Only 1 boy was hired by Microsoft. So that means it is also plus point being a girl. So whatever reason, maybe girls have soft skill. Girls have, some companies find hiring girls would be better than hiring boys. So so many other aspects as well. So I would also like to narrate 1 or 2 examples so that you might be able to, I would like to relate with the importance of digital transformation. Gone are the days of long queue at Indian airports. Here comes the days of Digi Yatra. Gone are the days of arrogant policemen asking questions to the passengers who go to enter to the airports. Unlike European and American airport, in order to get inside an airport in this country, you need to show identity card to the policeman who will ask you 5 questions to ask you whether you are terrorist or not. But here comes the days of Digi Yatra. In case if you haven't downloaded the mobile app Digi Yatra, download it today itself, start using today itself. You will not only save time at the airport, you will also avoid the policeman asking you questions. The other day, when I was in Kanpur airport, there was no, there was a newspaper group invited me as a keynote speaker. I went there, and Kanpur airport has no Digi Yatra. Then a policeman was asking a 70-year-old looking lady, and she showed her identity card, Aadhaar card, technology applications on gender. Then policeman said, you don't look like your photo doesn't look like you. And 70-year-old lady started crying because she has a flight to catch. And then she said, this is a photo taken 20 years ago. So that is why she doesn't look like what she is. So policeman did not agree to her. So with the Digi Yatra, you don't face all these kind of unnecessary questions and start using all these apps, mobile apps. We have a lot of mobile apps. Use all these mobile apps, for all purposes. For medical purposes, we have mobile apps. E-banking, we have mobile apps. Flight journeys and train journeys, we have mobile apps. For everything, we have mobile apps. Mobile apps are revolutionizing the way we live, the way we work, and the way we study. There are a lot of examples. And I would also take this opportunity to highlight the importance of human relation. There is an academic journal called Human Relations. I did not understand why there is a need for a journal called Human Relations when I saw Human Relations academic journal. Later, I realized importance of human relations in different ways. One of my former MBA students, she's a girl. She had tough time with a toxic boss. There are 2 types of bosses. Toxic boss and servant boss. Servant leader and toxic leader. And this girl had a toxic boss. And she was thinking about changing her job just because of this toxic boss, gentleman toxic boss. So she posted, many of us have WhatsApp groups for our classmates. She had a WhatsApp group for her MBA classmates, and she posted a message on WhatsApp group of her MBA classmates, and she said that she's looking for a job change because she has a toxic boss. And she had maintained good human relations with her MBA classmates when she was doing MBA. And a couple of her classmates came forwarded and introduced and forwarded her CV to their companies. And then she managed to get a job with a 50% salary increase within 2 months, just because she maintained good friendship and good human relationship with her classmates. So human relationships are very important. Instead of trying to fight each other, it is better. We all have our ego, so some people, those who are rich, they have ego because they have money. Those who have better designation, they have ego because they have better designation. Those who have health, they also have ego because they think they are healthier than others. So each one of us have our ego, but try to maintain human relations. It is very important. I would also tell you one more example of how human relations helps. I was the one who initiated the European Quality Improvement System, EQ system, EFMD, EQs of accreditation of business schools. And the business schools deans from Europe came to our institution, our education institutions in Bombay. And when they came, we had two deans, one from Amsterdam, another one from England. And Amsterdam dean, and of course we had to give them dinner. We had hosted them at JW Marriott Hotel, which is a 5-star hotel in Bombay. And we had to give them dinner, otherwise they will not give accreditation if you don't host them in JW Marriott, okay. So, and while having dinner, I told the Amsterdam dean that Theo, your colleague, is a good friend of mine, and he was a visiting professor in my previous university in Japan. And he told me, Theo is your good friend. Oh, Theo is my best friend too. So, and he took a selfie with me, and he sent it to Theo on WhatsApp. Okay, and this dean, he's a 64-year-old man. So even 64-year-old dean is using technology to take selfie, sending to Theo, and Theo replying him back in 5 minutes. I know Justin for many years, and you can trust him. And he showed this WhatsApp message, and he told me that I cannot go back to Amsterdam without giving accreditation to you, because you are heading this institution. So, and another example I tell you, the dean from England, he has a colleague called Alamanos, and I told Alamanos is my co-author, and your another colleague, Professor Nadalia, is a good friend of mine. Then he told me that Nadalia was a committee member that hired me as dean, not me, him as dean. And Alamanos, I'm promoting him as my vice dean next week. So all this I want to tell you is that human relations, importance of human relations. Technology matters, but human beings cannot replace technology, and human beings are more important. And this country also requires people who can believe and who can cater to the needs of society with the 3 motto: we serve, we help, and we serve. No technology can replace human beings. Amma has proven that. All the religious leaders in the world have proven that. Human beings are more important than technology. Let's believe in that. We serve, we care, and we help. Thank you.
We thank Dr. Justin for throwing light on the changing dynamics in the world today and reminding us of how technology could be a bane and a boon, and we have to exercise our discernment in utilizing it well. We would also like to request Ms. Rachel Okonhone, Global Head of Employee Relations, BlackRock Foundation, to kindly address the gathering.
Om Amriteshwariye Namaha. I'll keep my comments very brief. I wanted to talk about the power of yes, especially for the young people and the students in the room. And I think that when you see people who are more experienced in their careers, that maybe it came easy to us, or maybe we have a lot of confidence, but you've heard from some of the panelists that that's actually not true. And I can think of so many times in my life and my career where I was like, I am not doing that. You're going to have to ask somebody else. But instead, I said yes. And so one of the first times in my career that I said yes was at my last job. It was called BNP Paribas. It was a French-based investment bank. And I'm an employment lawyer, and they asked me to take on the duties of the global diversity and inclusion officer. And I didn't want to. But I said yes. And that led to me launching the company's first Women's Leadership Initiative globally, which was a program to invite sponsorship for women leaders across the globe, and also having a 80% success rate and having those women leaders move on to higher leadership positions in their careers. I think I mentioned yesterday when I was approached to work for BlackRock. I'm an employment lawyer. This is a giant company. This year, my company manages over 11 trillion in assets of other people's money. I didn't want this job, but I said yes. Several months ago, Dr. Bhavani asked me to help join the conference. And I am an employment lawyer. I am a human resources professional. I am not an AI technology. What could I possibly have to offer? What could I possibly have to give? But instead, I said yes. And just now, if you saw, I got passed a note that said, would you like to say a few words? I'd like to say that yesterday she told me all I had to do was wear a sari and have a seat while the closing ceremony was happening. So I didn't want to, and I said no, but then I nodded to her, and I said yes. So say yes, and see where your life goes, and see what opportunities come your way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Rachel, for reminding us of the tremendous power of saying yes. Now, to kindly deliver the Valedictory address, I request Swami Amrita Swarupananda Puriji, the Vice Chairman of Mata Amritanandamayi Mutt and the President of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, to kindly address the gathering.
प्रेमामृतानन्दमय्यै नित्यं नमो नमः। ॐ प्रेमामृतानन्दमय्यै नित्यं नमो नमः। ॐ प्रेमामृतानन्दमय्यै नित्यं नमो नमः। I humbly bow down at Amma's sacred lotus feet. My heartfelt namaskaram's 11 greetings to Miss UN Sung, Dr. Justin Paul, Dr. Manoj, Ms. Rachel, and the dignitaries of the stage, dear brothers and sisters. As we wrap up this 4-day event, many of you may have noted the key takeaways, ideas that likely resonated with you or sparked your curiosity. While you must have brainstormed and envisioned numerous strategic innovations in technological advancements and how gender plays a role in their creation and utilization, I bet many of you might not have considered some of the natural and spontaneous technological wonders the universe, God, has graciously shared with us. What I will say may not seem appealing to the intellect or fit the traditional definition of technology. However, I and many who think similarly agree that nothing, no, let me not use man-made, let me use human-made or manufactured technology can surpass the ultimate technology created by the universe of God. An example of such a miracle is a woman conceiving a child, carrying the baby within her as part of her very being, giving birth and mothering. Medical science has developed various methods, but only women can perform this remarkable miracle. Remember, the most outstanding scientists, technologists, politicians, all our dignitaries, including myself, not a dignitary, but just for, for rhyming the whole thing. So remember the outstanding scientists, technologists, politicians, leaders, talented artists, skilled individuals, and all beings are born from a mother, a woman. And given this truth, how can we fail to acknowledge, respect, and value the contributions of women and other genders to modern technology and innovations? And I would say it is foolish to close our hearts to them. I remember 2 lines from a bhajan that Amma sings. രണ്ടക്ഷരം കൊണ്ടു ജീവലോകത്തിൻ്റെ രണ്ടറ്റവും ചേർത്തിടക്കാം, which means the 2 ends of the whole creation can be tied together with the 2 words. Just 1 word. In Malayalam it is Amma, 2 words. But mother. The 2 ends of the entire creation can be tied together with 1 word, mother. And without mother, there is no life, and yet we forget women, their contribution, their talent, their potential. Allow me to quote Amma, God has no gender. God is that, it. However, if you wish to contribute, if you wish to attribute a gender to God, God is more she than he, because she or he is contained in her. There is a considerable amount of brainstorming, discussion, and organization surrounding conferences and lawmaking initiatives. Yet when it comes to enforcing the outcomes of these conversations, adhering to the laws, implementing them, we often fall short. I know even here, we had many ideas. And this challenge is particularly evident even in the realm of religious and faith-based alliance conferences, which have become quite a fashion in today's world. I myself had attended many of such religious conferences, alliances, talking about oneness, unity, brotherhood, sisterhood, Also, I must acknowledge, I must confess that I once held an outdated perspective regarding gender neutrality and equality or equity, often leaning more towards supporting men over women. This is the first time I'm confessing it in the public. However, I have since embraced a far more balanced viewpoint. And this significant shift in my thinking is largely thanks to Amma's presence, her transformative influence, and exemplary presence. That's the power of presence. Mr. Justin was talking about the Western universities where the percentage of women are more. But how many prime ministers or presidents do they have? Women presidents. How many women chief ministers or governors do they have? We have in India. There are many prime ministers, there are many presidents, and even now we have many political leaders, chief ministers in this country who are women. So in the landscape of global tech companies, women are a minority, especially even in big companies, multinational companies such as Amazon, Facebook, Apple, Google, and Microsoft, the representation is significantly lower in leadership positions. I came across a statistics, I believe it is from the World Economic Forum, stating that if the current rate of change continues, it will take 131 years, 45 days, 11 hours, 36 minutes, and 36 seconds to close the gender gap. Although time required is gradually decreasing, even when I am speaking, while you are listening, the time is decreasing. Yet this estimate remains alarming because based on this statistic, it will take 5 generations to achieve full gender equality. So even though disparity still exists, there has been an overall improvement in the percentage of women in technology. Statistics differ. However, women comprise only about 35% on the tech workforce today. And this marked significant growth from the early 2000s when women comprised only 9% of the tech workforce. Our UGC chairman, the University Grants Commission chairman, Mr. Jagadish Kumar, states, India has a world record with a 40% women enrollment in STEM fields. And this achievement is notable given India's population and diversity, especially compared to the US and Europe with only 23% and 19.1% in tech jobs respectively. And a report reveals that 34% of India's graduates are in STEM, lower than Malaysia, which is 43.5%, and Tunisia, which is 37.9%. Yet, India produces much higher total number of STEM graduates. Furthermore, it is reported that India produces enough STEM graduates each year to fulfill the demands in Europe and the USA for IT sectors. Quote, I'm quoting, right? The number of graduates closely matches US job demands, which may explain why many Indian graduates pursue work abroad, highlighting a concerning trend of losing talent crucial for national development. And Amma is creating a revolution in that area also. And she silently, gradually is doing a brain drain reversal, which even governments were not able to accomplish. As AI-driven technologies are just around the corner, it is also crucial to seriously discuss reskilling women in AI, especially generative AI. A report suggests that AI is the #1 topic women want to learn about, but 63% report a lack of skills and access to training on the job. While the world has made significant strides towards supporting women's rights, much work remains in various countries and cultures. Women must break free from the intellectual and psychological constraints men and society impose. This liberation benefits women and positively affects men. Therefore, men, including me, should show compassion and help free women from the burdens of the past, leading to their empowerment. Similarly, women must elevate their awareness to overcome the psychological conditioning that society has imposed on them. The reality is that the emotional, psychological conditioning of both men and women in their unconscious minds is timeless, ages old. Thus, it is not easy for either to break free from it without intentional, deliberate efforts and a clear understanding. At times, men intentionally create an impression of superiority because they are aware, not and their conscious minds, they are aware at a deeper level of the strength that women embody. It's common for those who feel insecure to project a mask of bravery, power, and control. And to conceal their inadequacy, men have built an environment of pride and dominance around themselves. And my view is not mine. It's Amma's view. I'm just, borrowing it from her. I quote Amma. What role do men play in childbirth? Just a few sperm. Much of the effort, sacrifice, love, tolerance, perseverance, and patience primarily comes from mother. And this clearly illustrates the power of women. And men are aware of this. Deep down. So they want to put up a face of bravery. They want to possess control. I'm neither aiming to belittle men nor to exaggerate women's qualities. However, my main point is that we must achieve balance essential for humanity's survival. It's indeed a question of balancing the entire creation. The 50% we ignore when we ignore 50% of the population, maybe a little over 50% of the population, that truly affects the growth, the total growth. Hence, promoting equity and equality between men and women in all areas of life is crucial. And reports indicate that globally, in addition to not receiving compensation for delaying or relinquishing their careers to raise children, women working outside the home earn only 77 cents for every dollar men earn. This is a fact. Financial and economic empowerment is a key factor in maintaining gender balance. It is estimated that if we continue at our current rate of addressing this balance, it will take another 100 years for women to achieve equal pay for equal work. And I have heard this firsthand from our devotees working in Europe. And even in India, in the Bollywood, in the movie industry, film industry, there's a huge disparity. I mean, all over the world. In this context, we should appreciate the BCCI, the Board of Control for Cricket in India, for ending pay discrimination between men and women cricketers. However, I have reservations about Western feminism and believe we should fundamentally rethink this perspective. Western feminism carries inherent risks. Women do not need to emulate men or adopt masculine traits to advocate for their rights valiantly. Stripping men of their strengths is unnecessary, as women possess innate strengths. I'm all for gender equality, but not in the reactionary way it is happening right now, which is more an imitation than an evolution or transformation. Reacting to a situation or system to imitate the other will destroy our originality. At the most, we will become carbon copies or copycats. Why should we adopt something that is destroying our originality? It is like Jesus wanting to become Krishna, and vice versa, or Mother Mary wishing to become Mother Yashoda. It's not necessary. Unwanted, unintelligent. Sadly, many young people in India, I'm sorry to say this, but many people in India are mimicking Westerners, especially Americans. And not their good qualities, the bad side. In Western countries, particularly in the United States, young people typically gain independence at 18. And this freedom brings the responsibility to be self-sufficient physically, financially, emotionally, and intellectually. They seek employment opportunities, often taking any job, even menial jobs or low paying ones. And society avoids judging individuals based on job types, allowing exploration of various occupations, including wait staff in restaurants and skilled trades like plumbing and carpentry. And many use their earnings to further their education. Parents may initially cover educational costs but promote independence and repayment over time. This fosters experience in various fields, resulting in unexpected career paths. As a result, you can find plumbers among CEOs and CEOs among plumbers. Conversely, this is a good trend. This is a good quality to emulate. Conversely, even after turning 18, young people in India continues to rely on their parents for physical, financial, emotional, and intellectual support. They expect their parents to fulfill their wants, both healthy and unhealthy, providing money, housing, food, clothing, education, and medical expenses. Simultaneously, they seek personal freedom without questioning. This will create an imbalance. This will destroy our society. And there is a vast difference in the family and social structures of the West and countries like India. And without applying proper discernment, our youngsters have become copycats. This is truly an unfortunate and dangerous situation. And when they see our youngsters, even the students studying in our college, I'm very sad to say this, but even the students who was studying in our college, when they see me, they call me uncle or sir. And they don't even know that when you see a sannyasi, you should address him as Swami. Unfortunate. And even today, some of the students, thank you, sir. It's fine. I'm not offended, but I'm just mentioning this. Rwanda is among the top 10 countries close to achieving women's empowerment and gender equality. However, neither Rwandan women nor the country are willing to sacrifice their culture for Western feminism. Instead, they argue copycats never learn. Why should we adopt something that takes away our originality? A nation and a generation that believes that imitation and shortcuts can bring about the desired change will have to pay the price sooner or later, even if things seem to be moving faster. I remember an article where the author concludes the write-up with this question: can a nation at odds with its values eventually change itself from the outside in? And this is the answer he provides. Real change takes time. Taking a shortcut can get you somewhere fast, but it leaves the next generation to circle back and address changes that were left undone. At Amrita University, Amma is leading a comprehensive transformation focusing on gender and technology. Our schools and colleges have the maximum number of HODs and principals women. Amma has established a women's empowerment self-help group with 300,000 women, and they're educated in using smartphones, computers, and tablets. Amma has arranged bank loans for them to start small businesses. We also train them in various trades such as X-ray and welding technicians, driving heavy road construction work vehicles, handicraft making, tally, computer accounting system, beauty parlor management, office automation, sanitary napkin production, paper product manufacturing, fashion design, leather product production, etc. And recently I met with a group of from a remote village. They were part of Amritapuri, a women's self-help group founded by Amma. As of today, there are 300,000 members in this group. They came to meet Amma. While talking to them, I observed the so-called uneducated using their phones effectively on their business activities by browsing, calling, and texting. Amma also broke the long-standing tradition of only men worshipping the main deity inside the sanctum and conducting fire sacrifices. She trained hundreds of women for these roles and continues to offer training programs. Amma's life is an extraordinary success story of how women can rise to the highest point of excellence. Her life and actions demonstrates that it is possible to transcend all barriers and obstacles, whether they are related to gender, religion, language, caste, finance, or education, thereby creating balance and harmony throughout humanity. With minimal education, this 5-foot-tall figure of Amma, born and brought up in a remote coastal village in southern India, has revolutionized the conventional system. Amma bestows the world a new, deeper dimension to love, how it should be expressed, its power to transform, and how vital it is to humanity in human life. So, Amma is basically transforming human beings into humane beings. Perhaps Amma's life and actions are inimitable, but isn't it worth studying her life and finding out what qualities made her achieve what she has accomplished? And I would refer Amma's example as the mirror model. M, meditation. I, intuition. R, response instead of reaction. O, oneness. And R, reverence. Mirror model. And meditation, when I say meditation, it's not just sitting in crossed legs, closed eyes, with eyes closed, and thinking of something or focusing on something. No. Reflecting. There is an interesting verse in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 21. Yadyadacharati sreshthas tatta devetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurude logastadanu vartate. Whatever an ideal person does, so do other people. Whatever standard he sets, other people follow. And in this digital age, where parents and children are entangled in the fictional world created by the web, it's a web. We get caught in it. We forget one of the greatest lessons that each of us is responsible, especially parents, for conveying. That is to set a good example and a positive role model for our children and future generation. Remember, if a father is a chain smoker and a drunkard, he loses all his rights to correct his son or daughter if they develop a tendency to smoke. Nelson Mandela said a leader is like a shepherd. He stays behind the flock, letting the nimblest to go out ahead, whereupon the others follow, not realizing that they are being directed from behind all along. Both men and women have a long way to go to reach the dreamland of democracy and gender equality. Both are conditioned, and it is not easy to disentangle the chain that binds them. However, together we must make it possible. So let's not stop our efforts to overcome our weaknesses and limitations. Allow me to quote Amma, when women prepare themselves to take leadership positions, men should not only help facilitate their progress, but also willingly step aside to avoid becoming a hindrance. May the division between men and women, feminism and anti-feminism, not lead to hate or create parallel functioning. Instead, let us strive to encourage a shift from a competitive and adversarial approach in gender relations towards one of cooperation and mutual respect, emphasizing the importance of recognizing the inherent value of masculinity and femininity and how a harmonious integration of these energies can benefit society. Thank you so much. Om Amritapuri.
Thank you, Swamiji, for bringing in Amma's perspectives and work, which truly help in fostering gender harmony across the planet. Now to address the gathering and give away the awards for the publications, we have with us Dr. Manoj B.S. from IEEE Kerala section. I request her to kindly come to the podium and address the gathering.
Pranams to Mada Amritanandamayi Devi, Pujaniya Swami Amrita Surumananda ji, Dr. Manisha Viramesh, Provost of Amrita University, Dr. Biju Nair, who is Secretary of IEEE, past Secretary of IEEE Kerala section and Chair of largest technical society of IEEE Kerala, Dr. Gayatri Manikutty, Bhavani Rao, Madam Kim, Justin Paul sir, Madam Rachel, distinguished delegates of this first of its kind International Conference on Gender and Technology 2025, faculty members, students and others in the audience. I'm very thankful to address you, but after having heard a lecture by Swami Amrita Suryamananda ji, it is actually extremely difficult to address the gathering, and I'm just standing speechless here after heard a discourse of knowledge and wisdom. Thank you for the excellent talk that you have given. IEEE Kerala section is one of the significant sections of IEEE. IEEE is the largest technical society of electrical, electronics, aerospace, computer science engineers in the world, with 425,000 engineers around the world. In Kerala, we have about 15,000 members. Many of the students and faculty members of Amrita University is also members of IEEE. And the similarity between Mada Amritanandamayi's work and IEEE Kerala section is the humanity. Mada Amritanandamayi Devi, with all her spiritual powers, physical resources and human resources, tried to help the humanity. IEEE stands for developing or advancing technology for the humanity. Many of the university's labs, including wireless networks and applications, Amechi lab, and Dr. Rajesh Kannan's lab, which name of which is not coming to my mind, have been exemplary examples of how science, technology and research can actually touch the lives of people, which is actually a distinguished difference between many other universities in India that makes Amrita University the real institution of national eminence. And I just want to very briefly touch upon the topic of this conference before, sorry to take your time for that. India has always been a country that highly respected women. You must be remembering that this very land had many communities following the matrilineal system, where a woman transfers her property and authority to her daughter and generations following that. Women had the rights to make decisions. They owned properties. They owned family names. Daughters actually carried their mother's name to their name. In fact, my own very name, B.S. Manoj, S stands for my mother's name. And I actually belong to such a community which followed matrilineal system. And India was colonized in 1600s, and 200 years it took for this matrilineal system to be transformed completely to a patrilineal system, patriarchal system that we do not recollect the old system right now. So this, in fact, when you say transformation, this transformation that we talk in today's world, as Swamiji has put it in Western feminine idea, that is actually a reverse transformation for India. We had once been there, and we are now going back to some extent there itself. I'll tell you a few brief examples of how we are actually transforming. In Kerala itself, Kerala government, in fact, we should start from the Travancore royal family. In the year 1200s AD, Travancore royal family has established power over the southern parts of the Kerala, and it took something like 500 to 600 years for a queen, Rani Gauri Parvati Bai, to make a very important rule that education is the right of the citizens, and education should be free and should be supported by the state. And this remarkable rule is first of its kind in the entire India, and actually made by a queen of Kerala state. And followed by that, many distinguished decisions have been taken by the state government. For example, Back to Lab program recently introduced is allowing women to come back to research labs after having delivery, as well as associated a break from work. And similarly, Navakerala Fellowship had also identified opportunities for women who want to come back to lab. At the national level, Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji had highlighted Nari Shakti as one of the elements of India's growth. To aid this particular direction, he created several programs like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao being one, and many other schemes which are actually empowering the nation through empowering women. And that is actually one of the biggest directions of India today, and Kerala also. And universities like Amrita universities are setting an example of how we can advance this, how we can sensitize this. Even this sensitization is very important, as I was talking to Bhavani Rao madam, that many of us have naturally biased, and this natural bias existing in our own actions, words, and in the society is only reflected in the AI system. If an AI system is biased, it is not the bias provided by AI system, it is the reflection of the bias that our society actually holds. So the correction is actually required in the society. Then only AI can actually realize and use that correction. And IEEE Kerala section is all about supporting this cause. As you have seen, Future Networks technical community has supported this, IEEE SSIT has supported this, IEEE Special Interest Group on Humanitarian Technology has supported this, IEEE Kerala section with Dr. Vijay and others have wholeheartedly supported this event through technically. For all such events of gender equality, gender sensitization, and all associated technology development activities, IEEE Kerala section is more than willing to help. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to address.
Thank you, Dr. Manoj, for that historical perspective on the changing gender roles in India. I would now like to request Dr. Ms. Gayatri Manikutti to join us in the dais to announce the prize winners for the best paper publications, and Dr. Manoj to also join us again. Thank you.
So as we conclude our conference, it is time to recognize the efforts of outstanding researchers who have presented their work during this conference. I must say before we announce the award that we were planning whether we should have one Best Paper Award or more than one Best Paper Award. And then we said, okay, let's have two. We should have one Best Paper Award. But what if it doesn't go to a woman, right? We are having a gender and technology conference. What if it is not to a woman? I mean, I'm not saying that men don't deserve this. I'm just saying that we must also have something to promote women researchers as, outstanding researchers in their field. And I'm very, very, very happy to say that both the Best Paper Award have been won by women. So that is amazing. So the best paper award, the first one, goes to Neelanjana Das and Dr. Shreya Majumdar for the paper Developing Smart Health Pregnancy, Addressing the Gender Bias in LLM for Community Health Workers in Rural India. I invite Dr. Biju and Dr. Manoj and Swamiji. Coincidentally, I must also mention that when we played the Kahoots, we saw the name Shreya coming up again and again and again. So that is Dr. Shreya. And the second Best Paper Award goes to a virtual presenter, so she's not with us here. Her name is Varsha Shukla, and her paper was titled on Addressing Bias and Fairness in Large Language Model for Responsible Innovation in Gender Context. So we'll be sending it over to her online. We also have one more announcement, which
Thank you, Dr. I've already made Dr. Gayatri Chiche Dr. Gayatri. Thank you, Ms. Gayatri Manikutti. She's on her way to collecting her doctorate title as well. Up next, we have our poster presentations. I'd like to invite our very tenacious in-app solution builder, Ms. Ashwati P., Team Lead Data Solutions for SWIGI, and Assistant Professor Social Data Sciences, SSBS, to kindly announce the awards for the poster presentations. We request our dignitaries to kindly take their seats till she makes the announcements.
Om Amriteshwari Namaha. Good afternoon, one and all. So let me provide a summary of the poster submissions that we received at Gender and Technology Conference 2025. Out of the total 23 submissions that we received, we have total 9 poster presentations at the exhibition. These papers can be grouped by the sub-themes of gender and technology intersections that are gender, data and AI, women in STEM, and technology for gender inclusive practices. Under gender, data and AI sub-theme, we had papers addressing the gender biases and data gaps in AI systems, including challenges faced by transgender individuals. They emphasized on the systematic methodology along with the importance of inclusive data practices and AI-driven solutions. Within this, we had a couple of papers that actually discussed on gaps of AI and health, which discussed how AI can be used to improve women's healthcare in sexual well-being, mental health, and addressing the data gaps in perinatal violence and gynecologic cancer. The core of these discussions being critical gaps in women's health data. The second sub-theme was women in STEM, and these studies examine the barriers women face in STEM fields, particularly in higher education, and also how they can leverage their skills in AI and prompt engineering. The authors highlights the gender disparities and strategies for increasing women's participation in physics, engineering, mathematics, and AI-based roles. The third sub-theme is technology for gender inclusive practices. This focused on empowering women in agriculture and rural development. It also looked at innovative projects such as battery upcycling commercialization as tools for economic empowerment and gender inclusive practices in sub-Saharan Africa. Let me take this opportunity to congratulate these paper presenters in reaching this significant milestone at this earlier stage of their researches. The posters were so well appreciated by the evaluation panel led by Dr. Bijuna K. Kunyo, Professor, Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, TKMCE column from IEEE, and they spend around 15 to 20 minutes with each authors, engaging in discussions with them. We hope that this sets a new momentum to your research. We offer our best wishes to your future work to each of the presenters. Now let me announce the winner for the Best Poster Award, titled Empowering Women in Groundwater Management and Agriculture, Harnessing Technology for Gender Inclusive Practices, authored by Manulakshmi Yadav and Pennan Chinnasamy from IIT Mumbai. Unfortunately, they had to leave yesterday night itself. They couldn't stay back, so they are not with us today, so we are just applauding for them. We have informed them already. This poster highlights the dual responsibilities of women in rural India in managing both domestic and agricultural water. The paper discusses how these tools can help overcome barriers, allowing women to play a larger role in agricultural decision making. The direction of the paper engages in mobile technology and citizen science initiatives that can empower women by enhancing participation in water management decisions. So let us once again congratulate all the poster papers and the winners. Congratulations once again, and thank you, Masha.
Thank you, Ashwati P. As we come to a close today, to bid a formal adieu to this August gathering assembled here, I call upon stage Dr. Bhavani Rao to propose the vote of thanks.
Okay, you must buckle down because I make very long vote of thanks. So it's going to take some time. So you can be a little hungry. It's okay. This is the most important part of any ceremony, is the vote of thanks. So please bear with me. Okay. So as per protocol, and I will first thank all this. Everybody is just as important, just as critical, just as vital, but for protocol's sake, I will go through an order. The order doesn't mean anything. The gratitude is just the same, whether the person is mentioned as the first or the last. So it is with full heart, full of gratitude that I will present my vote of thanks. I will quote Sri Aurobindo, who said in his book on the mother that people need only two qualities, really, to be a better person. You need sincerity and you need gratitude. And I think this conference was so filled with sincerity. From like just the top to the bottom, there was just so much of sincerity. And with it, now comes the gratitude part of it. So most grateful. And here I will always put Amma on the top, because everything that we did here happened because of her. I had the chance to do what I could do, to organize the conference, to even start thinking in this way is because of her. So from the thought to the word to the action, it all starts from there. And therefore, my first thanks and most deepest thanks is to Amma for just making everything happen. And I'll tell you some of the miracles that even happened along the way. So for everything, I thank Amma. She's not here, but I know she's hearing it. And if she's not hearing it, I want every one of you to please, who's seeing her, to tell her that thank you, Amma, for making this happen. And then I will formally thank all the dignitaries on the stage. I will start with our dear guest of honor, Yeon Song Kim. She is an amazing woman. So when I was in Thailand with her at a conference, I proposed this idea to her first, and I talked to her about it, and she just like got it then. It was like a 5-minute conversation that we had at a side table, and she got it immediately. She is a truly empowered woman because she empowers others. There's nothing there's like absolutely no hierarchy. There's absolutely no inhibitions. She's one of the nicest people in the entire UN system that I have ever come across. And I'm not the only person who thinks that. When I went to UNESCO headquarters, like people in Paris, when you say, oh, it's UNESCO, yeah, they all know her. And they also know how good she is. And for her to be a partner, she really, once the UNESCO stamp came, it's after that that I went to other people. So she's the first person to really support this idea. And she has been here, and she's really put her time and energy into the conference, also on the launch of the Women for Ethical AI. She's the one who conceptualized that we really need a South Asia chapter. So in so many levels, at so many levels, I would like to thank you in song. Not just for being here on the stage, but from the start. Thank you, Yuan Song. And I would request Swamiji to please present the memento to Yuan Song. Thank you, Swamiji. I would just like to also please. So we are also presenting a gift to Yuan Song, and this has been made by the artisans from the villages. They have made it, and they are presenting this to you directly. And so we've invited our artisans also to present them. It's a mural painted scroll. So And the next, I would like to thank Dr. Manoj from IEEE. IEEE is our next big pillar that has stood by us from the beginning of the conference, from the IEEE Kerala chapter saying yes, they will support us, then to SSIT, then for the hackathon. Constant, we got so many IEEE stamps. It means they value this topic. They realize that it's important. This is the largest groups of engineers in the entire world, and they understand that this topic is important, and they supported us completely with no bias, full support from IEEE. So thank you so much, Dr. Manoj, and for being here to representing IEEE, for all the support that the chapters have given us. Thank you so much. I would like to invite Dr. Manisha to present the memento to Dr. Manoj. Dr. Manisha is our provost, and is also a UNESCO chair for experiential learning over here at Amrita. She's got many titles, but I'll stop there. They've also helped us with helping the poster judging the posters, everything. Thank you, Dr. Manoj. And I would also now like to thank Rachel Okahone. I would like to thank you for saying yes. There were 3 yeses. She's my genie. She said yes 3 times, whether she knows it or not. So she's my genie. So can I put you back into the bottle and then pull you up again next time? She said that was perfect. She said yes to that too. So thank you so much. And I would like to welcome Dr. Krishna Shri to please honor Rachel for being here with us. Dr. Krishna Shri, I just introduced in the previous panel. She is the Dean of Postgraduate Studies. She's also, along with Dr. Manisha, 2% scientist, Stanford scientist, 2% in the world. Like they're the top scientists in the world. Next, I would like to thank Dr. Justin Paul. Dr. Justin Paul, it's amazing that you created such a wonderful program that is so supportive to women that they all got placed. So that's how we would like to think about it, that not because of the companies, but because he created such a great program that the women were so good that they all got placed in the companies. And sir, we will definitely submit our papers to our journal, and we know that women will actually get accepted into that 6% because they are so good, right, sir? Not because that there is a partiality in your journal, right? Thank you so much. We know that he's going to be championing our cause, and because he's going to create other spaces where all the women will be placed in his institution. So thank you for being here and sharing your thoughts with us. And I would now like to invite Professor Raghu to please present the memento to Dr. Justin Paul. Dr. Raghu is the Dean of Management at the Amrita University. And Swamiji, I'm sorry for thanking you the last on the stage, but because you're the most important, that's why I'm thanking you the last on the stage. Swamiji's speech reminded me of the students program last evening. Did you all see it last evening? Some of you saw it? So did you see the Kali dance? Or the fiery mother with her tongue out when she saw injustices, that rage of motherhood? Have any of you seen mother animals protect their little children? Have you seen what a force that motherhood is? So he was talking about the power of motherhood. So there is a power of motherhood that's all soft and cuddly and warm, but then there is that force of motherhood when something is wrong. And Swamiji said we should use the force of motherhood when things are going wrong. Swamiji, we will do it with compassion, but we will use the force of motherhood to correct this wrong. In a very Indian way. Yes, Swamiji, force of motherhood. It'll have compassion in its heart, but in its full fury. No. Motherhood has got compassion in its heart. Ruthless, yeah, okay. But thank you, Swamiji, so much, because I know from my own personal experience how much Swamiji has supported to make sure that the ashram is a place where Amma is there, but also to make sure among the men in the ashram that there is an acceptance of women. We are from a very traditional society. We have traditional norms. But to make that space open Amma has always set the trend, but Swamiji has been in action with all of us, whether it's with Dr. Manisha, Dr. Krishna, with me. He's been a constant source of support. He has trained us in areas where there were no women in the beginning, like grand stages with programs. It was always run by men, but it was Swamiji who brought us. Dr. Geeta, he brought me, Dr. Manisha, Dr. Krishna, he brought us in. He trained us on how to conduct programs, and he has been such a support to all of us, to all the women at the university. I know this, and I speak this from my own personal experience. Even for this conference, he has been such a support. Again, Swamiji, not just for being here today and sharing your words with us, just for everything that you have done for all of us. Thank you, Swamiji. And I would like to invite myself to give them to present Swamiji with the memento of thanks. If it's okay, Swamiji, may I present it to you? That was my short list, thanks. Now I have a long list of thanks. You're going to all listen and hear it, and then only you're going to go. So, so definitely, we also have to thank all the dignitaries who actually graced this effort, starting from the Minister the Honorable Minister of State for Jal Shakti, who was there for the inaugural. He came at a very last minute, and this is how Amma supported this conference. And I just want to tell a story. So the last minute, all the 3 guests of honor cancelled, like literally the very last minute. So there's not even a chance to get another guest. Exactly at that time, the Minister of Jal Shakti was planning a visit to the ashram. Just planning. And the only reason I got to know about it because I was fighting for his room. Yeah, yeah. They didn't cancel, sorry. It was just circumstantial and it just was bad luck. And then it was good luck, yeah, because we got a minister, absolutely. It was actually good. So, so then the minister just happened to come by, and then we asked him, and he really liked the topic. So he said, yes, I will come to be your guest of honor. And that was a complete miracle. And it only happened because Amma was there, and she was like, okay, this one person. It was just, so this is how the support came, even from not even this tangible, there's also this intangible things, support from all sides. Yes, the universe was supporting me. Actually, Swamiji also supported in that because he also pushed me to go and get to talk to the minister. So again, and Swamiji did so much, tried really a lot to get the right kind of audience in for this particular program. So I also like to thank all the people who couldn't make it for the conference because I know that they really tried. So Ambassador Amandeep Singh Gill, who is the UN Secretary General Envoy, Uma Mahadevan ma'am, and Akhilesh Gupta sir, they all really wanted to be here, but because of circumstances, they didn't. Dr. Divya Iyer, who got a flu the very last minute. So all these people really wanted to be here, but they couldn't. And also Maria Gracia Squicciani, she was here. And even though she had a personal emergency, she was so graceful that she actually came, gave her talk and left. And that is just remarkable. That's the kind of support that this conference has received. And you can only address it with a heart full of gratitude. But the entire UNESCO team, starting with Gabriela Ramos, who sent her recorded message that she couldn't come, Maria Gracia, Tim Curtis, who did send his recorded message for the inauguration, Yun Song Kim, of course, she's a part of this conference, even she's one of the pillars, Chinenye, who did a lot of the background work, and I don't see her, but she's here. Divya Sharma and Jian. This is the entire UNESCO team. That was like a super strong support for all of us. The IEEE Kerala section, Dr. Manoj, Professor Muhammad Qasim, who was there at the inauguration, Dr. Bijuna, Sri Jai Krishnan, and Dr. Biju. Really a full thanks to all of you. I think Dr. Sunita also, right? Dr. Sunita also. And especially also would like to thank BlackRock, represented by Rachel, Google, represented by Dr. Manisha over here, our sponsors, CSIR, and ANRF, that Akhilesh Gupta sir was very kind enough to help us. Our partner, NG, I don't know if Marco is there. Thank you, NG, who we are hoping to work with in Africa very soon. Just all the sponsors, starting from IEEE and UNESCO. We had amazing speakers. I'm just going, and there were so many of them, because in any conference you decide to invite a certain number of speakers, and you know maybe that 30% of them will show up. But we did not expect so many people to say yes, and so we ended up with a lot of speakers, and that's why you had a really packed conference. Again, very, very good feeling that that this is what we all understand, that this is important, and that's why we kind of came together. So Honorable Pauline, who was also here just a minute ago, she came all the way from Kenya, Liesel Folks, Carol, I think they had to leave for Ames, Aditi Namdeo, Arti Ahuwalia, Minha Zahir, Sachini Herat, Geeta Kannan, Ramadevi Lanka, Veena Nair, Used Monks, Alison Richards, Greta Perletti, Swati Majumdar, Tarek Rashid, Agendra Kumar, Beena Sarkar, Hariza Kozi, Priya Patel, Anvesha Ghosh, Roshanara, Dheeraj Pradanga, Upneet Kaur, Dr. Padma Rao Saheb, and also the participants who came to attend the W4EAI, like Nisha, Giridhar. Thank you, all of you, for being here, for sharing your wisdom with us. Namneet Kaur. also. Perfect. I'm also just scanning the thing in case if I have missed any name, please, please, please forgive me. It's just like a huge, huge list. And again, I'm so grateful to each and every one of you that came here and supported the conference. Our conference committee, of course, our General Chair, Dr. Venkat, General Co-Chair, Dr. Manisha Ramesh, our Publication Chair, Dr. Krishnashri, and our Publicity Chair, Dr. Shyam Divakar. Thank you. Thank you so much for your continued help and support, as well as Dr. Raghu Raman, Dr. Kamal Bijlani, Dr. Prema Nedungadi, Jyoti Ma'am, Devidas Ji, Snehama, Shivakumar and his team, Professor Sidney Strauss. These are all people who have been with us in the journey of planning the conference. There are a whole bunch of names. Even our internal committee, we had like about 50 something names. So just so many people piling in. Also, the one who was designing, the Lakshmi who got married. Lakshmi, who got married very recently and had to go to Singapore. The participants of the DST workshop, the performers, Dr. Padmaja and her students, the students from the Coimbatore and Amritapuri campuses who gave us a spectacular performance yesterday. All the researchers and students who submitted papers and posters from India and all around the world. We are so thankful to you for actually promoting research in this on this agenda. To all the paper track participants, to all the chairs and the course chairs of the sessions, to all the hackathon participants, to all the people who participated in the exhibition, including the women who stitched the bags that you got, the women who made the lanyards. Actually, they're here right now. They actually are from Wayanad, which was recently hit by landslides, and most of them lost everything, their entire livelihoods and living. They're brave women who have started to rebuild their lives. And the first thing that they did is skill development. And as a first part, within the first month of their skill development, they have made these lanyards that you all are wearing. Just look at that work. Just look at the perfection in the work that they have produced. And those Chechimar are here. So from Churanmala and Wayanad, we have Safia Chechi and what are the other names? And the other Chechis. Thank you for coming all the way, and thank you for making this for us. Everybody liked it. Everybody liked it. Minat Chechi, Safia Chechi, Sumitra Chechi, and Sajita Chechi. Thank you so much. And I know people who are saying that we'll do this in our conferences also. So you set a trend. So all the Chechis also who made all the beautiful painted products that are there in the We store that some of you got as gifts, and what you hold in your hand also. And so these are also made by the women who are coming from different areas. I don't know if some of you decided to taste the mushroom pickles and the seaweed pickles that were being sold in the We store. There's probably nothing left right now. If you didn't go, you missed it. Our dear sisters from the transgender community who have been keeping things, I mean, they painted beautiful mehendi art and they were doing nail art for everybody. I don't know if they're here. Huh? They're still here? Over there. Also for the students who built an amazing labyrinth on cognitive bias, the students from the Cognitive Science Education and Technology, it's amazing. I know most of you have seen it, but if you haven't seen it, it is really well worth your time to actually visit the labyrinth and get an understanding of what kind of biases are there and why and how those biases impact us in our daily lives. Unless you have that understanding, you won't find this topic important. So I really encourage you to visit that place. To ASIP for... Yeah, you can keep clapping. I'll keep talking and you can keep clapping. To ASIP for all their support, to AOC, Hari and team, Deepu sir, all the amazing work they did in printing, in putting up the posters, all the signages. Excellent work. To the core organization team. So this year, the way the conference was organized is that the second year masters in social work student basically took the ownership of running the conference. So the entire student population, that's about 100, about 50 from this campus, 50 from the Arsampalayam campus, came together to help organize the program. So they came up with the flow charts, they came up with how the conference was going to be organized, they came up with the menus, they came up with the venues, the hosts that you had going with you. This was all really, they were the work power behind the conference, and they were split into the executive and program committee, the registration committee, the publication and proceeding committee, the poster presentations, food and beverage, VIPs and guest management, accommodation, transportation, those poor kids haven't slept in 4 days, venue and logistics and operations, marketing, sponsorship and PR, note-taking for all sessions, cultural events and other services, hackathon, media and communication, and the DST workshop. These were all the areas covered by the students. We really, really, really appreciate. Do you want students? Do you want to stand up? Stand up and take a bow. All the students, student organizers, come on, stand up. Yes, stand, stand, stand. Come on, stand up. Congratulations. Okay, but I'm noting that there's not 100 of you over there. Okay, but also there was a core team from SSBS, from Amachi Labs, and from the Center of Women Empowerment and Gender Equality. This is a list of names. This list actually should cover this page, but this is what I have. I'm going to read out, and if I remember any other names, I'm going to throw that in. Of course, I would like to first thank Nirbhaya. She basically, stand Nirbhaya, please. She basically put together the entire thing, and she held forth. When everybody in the conference was sick and had to go to the hospital and come back, she was the one standing. She only prayer was that she had to get through this conference without ending up in the hospital. And thank you, Nirbhaya, for jumping in and doing such an amazing job. And of course, then we have all our stalwarts over here. We have Gayatri, Ashwati, Saumya, Vidya, Parvati, Ajay, Reshma, Unni, Radhika, Mohan. Unni, we put it into CVJ. It's interesting. He's in Aarhus, but still we have him here. Radhika M, Radhika S, Nimita, Sri Vidya, Chris, Nandita, Unni, Balu, Manikantan, Parvati, Kurup sir, Kankaraj sir, Sarala, Elena, Lakshmi, Aparna, Yamuna, Drishti, Gauri, Daniel, Yana, Punita, Nishant, Pranav, Sophia, Malini, Karnyaji, Rupa, Prema, Aishwarya, Rangaswamy sir. We don't have all the Arsampalayam campus faculty over here. Some is there. We have Rangaswamy sir, we have Priya ma'am, we have Kankaraj sir. Who else do we have? Huh? Satish sir, any other name? Varuna Belu sir, Dipanjan sir, Rajalakshmi ma'am, Prasad sir, Renish sir. Ambika ma'am, huh? Dr. Rajiv. So we also I'd like to thank Kaushik, Bhanu again for being a very strong support. He came in all the way from Delhi. Ambujam for taking photographs. Nalini, Lekha, Sandeep, Adira, and Anu for showing up at the very end. Where is Anu? Oh, there's Anu. She's been helping remotely, but she came today. Thank you so much. And everybody here who have supported Alison. I think I mentioned your name, but if not, okay. But Sarala over there, and just like everybody, if I've forgotten anybody's name, please, 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 please forgive me. Shambhavi, huh? Tamara, yes, was Tamara is there? Tamara, Shambhavi, Amala. Oh my God, how could I forget Amala? Amala, she's there. Anybody else? Any other names? It's gratitude from you also to remember names. We all can be grateful together. Victoria, over here. She managed the entire note keeping over there, Victoria. And anybody else that I've forgotten? Faridabad team, yes, that we have Nimita, we had Chris, I mentioned, and Varnavelu, but the students from the Faridabad team we also should mention. Thank you so much for those students making all the journey all the way here. Lakshmi Prabha for making the column outside. I can't do it. Dr. Sudha, oh my God, yes. She is one of the session chairs and she was also such a strong support for all of us. Dr. Kalluri over there was also. Thank you so much. I mentioned generally session chairs, I guess, because then we have Dr. Vipul and all the people. So thank you. But thank you all so much. Thank you for being here at the conference. And I would just like to end with a prayer that may we all work together for peace and harmony in a time when that is becoming scarcer and scarcer. We know that coming together for gender equality is actually one of the ways to peace. And let us at least together start, and like Swamiji said, let's not leave this as words. Let us, with all the new friends and with all the sisterhood that we can create, let us move forward to making this world a better place. Thank you. Thank you so much. I forgot to thank the carpool. They were 9 drivers that made a million trips, please. Thank you. Thank you for the carpool also. And events team, GAD, IT, everybody, please. Thank you so much. I will keep remembering names. We just do Loka Samasta because we ended. Yes, we just chant Loka Samasta. Loka Samasta is a prayer of peace. It just means let all the beings in all the world. So when you talk all the beings, not just humans, but also all animals, or everything that is as a manifestation of the divine essence. Let everything be at peace, and let everything be at peace, and let everything be at peace. So in all the worlds. And so this is the simple prayer. So it is, please join me in saying it. Om samastah sukhino bhavantu, lokah samastah sukhino bhavantu, lokah samastah Sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you, Swamiji. Yes, Swamiji. Okay, Swamiji. Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you, Swamiji. Can go for lunch. There is a lunch for all the group photo. A few quick announcements. There's a group photo being planned at the entrance steps. So if all the members of the Women for Ethical AI South Asia chapter would step there, and also all the participants, can we please, anybody who wants to join, the speakers who are left, the participants, there's going to be photo sessions, so please join us. Okay. Also, if anybody who is attending the conference, the Amritapuri students, or anybody who would like to see Amma, you must register before 4 p.m. So anybody who has participated in the conference and would like to go to see Amma, please register yourselves before 4 p.m. Yeah, stall is still open if anybody wants to visit it.